What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. There's a Netflix employee who wanted to organize this walkout against comedian Dave Chappelle over his Netflix stand-up special. And that employee, who now wants to be remained nameless, has been terminated. Now, I dropped the video right as the news was happening because I recorded the day before. And what's happened is that this employee is black woman who is currently pregnant. Okay. And the employee had leaked some metrics to the press related to Dave Chappelle. All right. Now, what the argument was from her was that you have all these white people going to the press and speaking publicly on Twitter, and she gets fired. But the reality is that it wasn't that whites are going to the press publicly. It's that she had shared metrics internally. Okay. And those things that she did got her terminated. Right? Now, I want to say that Netflix has done amazing this year on the stock market. Year to date, it's over $105, which is insane, especially during a market like this with coronavirus being uncertain in the Delta variant. And I thought that Netflix would stand down and take the special off. They're not. As much as employees are important, and as much as the rights of employees are important, Netflix owes it to their stock shareholders. Okay? Dave Chappelle makes money. All right? Dave Chappelle makes money. So if they feel that Dave Chappelle, as a comedian, did not do anything or say anything that offended the community, they've dotted their I's and crossed their T's. They make $25 billion plus a year in streaming. Well, it's their decision, right? And what you see in American society, as Americans, we're entitled, because I've been living in Poland or in Uganda off and on for the last 6 years. Here, when someone tells you to do something, you do it. There is no, for the most part, I want an opinion or I'm going to fight this, especially in Africa. You work for a big African company and they say, hey, this is our position. We don't feel like anything happened. So we want you guys to, we're still treating you right. There are no employees being harassed or no. So you have an employee that's there that's saying that I'm going to leak these things and we're going to organize a walkout. And because I believe, and this is what I'm thinking, I'm a female, I'm a woman of color and I'm pregnant. This is, they won't fire me. And then Netflix says, well, you're fired. I think what you're seeing now is cancel culture being canceled itself. And the reality is that as people, and we can say that African Americans are a protected group. That's debatable. The LGBT community, Jews, Asians. But here's the situation. None of us, nobody, is above the corporations that we work for. All right? And a lot of Americans in this time, a lot of companies have become, very scared about what's going to happen and things like that. Even a lot of comedians are scared. But the reality is that you're not going to just do what the hell you want to do and have a job. You can't do that. See, let me just say something. I don't want to make this too much of a manosphere thing. The difference between, I think, a lot of men and women in the workplace, look at Kyrie Irving. I want to use him for example. Kyrie Irving, on this Instagram live, he doesn't want to take the vaccine. Stephen A. Smith came for him and other people came for him and stuff like that. I don't like Kyrie Irving in the locker room as a player. That's one thing. It has nothing to do with his right to take the vaccine or not. Okay? But the thing I love about Kyrie Irving, you know what he said? I understand the consequences of my actions. So if I don't take the vaccine, I understand that I'm not going to play. Right now, I'm totally okay with that. They own the team. The city of New York has said what they had to say. Here's how I feel. So if we're not going to come to an agreement right now, that's just fine. I'll deal with the consequences. But what you see certain times, I think for certain people who attach themselves to certain groups or supportive of other groups or feminism, not all, but in this particular case, I bet, as I said, I feel that I can share these documents. I can schedule a walkout from a company that pays me very well, and they're not going to do anything about it. And I can get away with it because I'm a part of this group, or I could have a lawsuit if they do. And then what happens? You get fired. I wonder what's going to happen to the rest of the people who try to walk out on the 20th. And I think that with Netflix taking a stand on this, doubling down, I think that a lot of people are going to have to really rethink, what they're going to do. You have to remind yourself, you might be a protected group. You still work for that particular corporation. Nobody is above. I don't care if you're white, black, woman, man, whatever. When you work for people, you're not above their rules. Same thing here. I mean, as a content creator on Facebook or on YouTube or Instagram. On YouTube, there's many different people from many different walks of life on here. Some, they don't even do their content in English. You have some people who are Muslim or Christian, some people who are in the LGBT, some people who even worship the devil. Damn! But if you don't follow those rules, you're done. Like EDP 445. And I say a very extreme example. But hey, you break the rules. It doesn't matter who you are. And I think that in this case, this lady who wanted to lead this walkout, like, how are you going to lead a walkout? I can understand if you're not getting paid, that's fine. Like a teacher strike. Okay, that's different. Teacher strike, you've seen that we're underpaid, we're overworked. Healthcare worker strike, I've seen that in different countries. We're overworked and underpaid. I can understand a walkout. But walking out, and Netflix, just like many other tech companies, I've never heard about them, but like you have Google, who's owned by YouTube, Netflix, Facebook. Working at these places are some of the best places to work at. All right? They have a lot of like great work-life balance. Okay? The work country, it's pretty good from what I understand. It's very nice. Some of these have cafeterias in there, and there's hardly no attrition there. Okay, the work culture from what I understand is great. All right, people want to work there. It's a hard ass job to get. Most people wish they could work for Netflix, Facebook, Google, Apple. And because you don't disagree, you're fired. You're fired. And you're pregnant. All right? Like, how do you mess that up? And I understand you disagreeing with something, but leaking documents? Why would you do that? And Americans have to just be able to understand the consequences of their actions. Like, if I do this, I could lose my job. If you're okay with that, cool. But she got let go. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first clip in the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.